Welcome to The Balancing Act with your host, self-care strategist, speaker, author, and president of Divine Potential Services, Sierra Hilaire. She is a wife and mom who is on a mission to activate women to be authentic, balanced, and free to relentlessly pursue their purpose.
Hello, and welcome to The Balancing Act with me, your host, Sierra Hilaire. I am your self care strategist and the CEO of Divine Potential Services, Inc. And my mission is to activate women to be authentic, balanced, and free to relentlessly pursue their purpose. And I am so excited to be able to bring back this signature series of the Balancing Act. This season, we have some amazing, listen to me, y'all, some amazing guest speakers that are just going to come on and share and pour into you from their personal experiences and journeys. And so I'm excited to be able to receive and also create this platform for others to be able to receive as well. And so, before we get into all of the goods, I just want to say thank you to my special guest, Miss Casie, for being on with us. And just share really quick who you are and what you do. And then I'll talk a little bit more about the Balancing Act and we'll go right into our conversation. So, again, thank you for accepting this invitation to be on the show.
Sierra, I am honored to be here and just chat with you. I love our conversations, so it's interesting to have it live or have it, have other people join in. I always enjoy talking with you. So like you mentioned, I'm Casie Patterson. I am a wife. I am a full-time mom, and I am a woman who's just passionate about helping women see themselves the way God sees them. And that's beautiful. That's a unique masterpiece. And how I do it, my little piece of that is I do that through beauty, through makeup. So I'm also a beauty blogger and a makeup coach, which sounds weird, like how God sees you, but you do that through makeup. But I believe that, how we were created the way I look for a reason. God handcrafted me, handcrafted you, Sierra. And I think a lot of us, especially as busy women, our lights kind of dim, right? We don't really take care of ourselves because life. Right. So I help women kind of bring that out and dust themselves off a little bit. And my philosophy of makeup isn't about transforming or covering. It's really about enhancing. And, just the transformation that they go through, they see themselves like, wow, that's me. It's like, yeah, that's you. That's you. So I really enjoy that. And yeah, that's a little bit about, as you can see, brings me joy and who I am.
Yes. And y'all, doesn't she look amazing? Yes. So if you are in need of a makeup coach, somebody to help you through that process, she is definitely your girl, okay? And so we'll talk a little bit more about how you can connect with her at the end of the show. So I encourage you to stay because it is about to get good. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and be sure to share this with someone you know could benefit from the Balancing Act. And so, speaking of the Balancing Act, again, this is our signature series highlighting busy women's stories, struggles, and successes about balancing life, business, and ministry while making self care a priority. And I know Casie would agree. Listen, as women, we sacrifice a lot, but self-care, honey, it's one of them things that we have to say no to when it comes to what we have to decide on sacrificing. And unfortunately, some of us figure that out the hard way. Some of us get it. And so I'm just interested to hear the different perspectives and the stories about how you got here, how you got to this place. And so I just want us to go right into our questions because I am like ready. I am ready to hear your self-care story. And so I want to start out with the first question. And that question to you is, how are you balancing life, ministry, and business? And I actually wanted to add on that question, without burning out. Okay, because it is a lot. But I believe God has graced every one of us to be able to carry the assignments, the responsibilities. And so I just want to hear, how are you doing it?
Well, first of all, I don't. I don't. So my thing with balance, it's when I hear that word, I'm like, it always kind of like, oh. I don't believe it's possible. I believe, we have different seasons in our lives that require more in some areas than in others. Like, when I was pregnant with my son, at 9 months, I couldn't work out, I couldn't run, I couldn't, go see my friends, I couldn't if I wanted a glass of wine, I couldn't do that. Right. So it's just about different seasons that require energy focused in specific areas. So for me, how I, kind of was able to stop chasing this balance of trying to make everything perfect, everything aligned, finding harmony. And harmony to me is that kind of, God talks about working all things for our good. I think all the different aspects of life should be working together well. So if you're in school and you're studying for the bar exam, you need to focus all your time there. You can't do other things. It's about having your priorities in the right place. So that's what I strive to do. Where am I in my season of life? What requires the most time? Okay, then second, then third. And that, I think, for me, helps me to stress less, because I don't have to worry. Like, it's just not gonna all get done.
That part.
Some days, my floors may need a dusting, but I'll get to it. That's not the most important thing. So it's all about me, like, trying to prioritize, and have my priorities in order. And before I can even do that, it's always making sure that God is the number one priority. So no matter the season, He's got to be number one. And I have to admit, sometimes He's not, but I have to make sure, as I, have my quiet time, like, okay, I need to realign some things. So sometimes it takes a constant, like, checking in with yourself. Sometimes my husband has to check in with me. Sometimes even my son is like, hey, you get a little bit of checking to make sure that things are aligning the way they should in that particular season. So
Yes. And speaking of harmony, that's actually what attracted me to you. One of my sisters in Christ shared your story. And when I saw your reel, I was like, who is she? Because, honey, she was putting on her makeup. She was talking about how she doesn't believe in balance, but how she believes in harmony, and how you can live a life of flow and ease. And I was like, okay, whoever this Casie is, I need to be connected. And so, I just started following you on Instagram. The content that you share is so relevant and on time as it relates to makeup and building yourself as a woman and just feeling good about who you are inside and out. And most importantly, as a professional, showing up confidently on camera. And so I was like, yes, ma'am, I need her on the show. And interestingly, everybody has those areas that I like to call sweet spots. And I think it's so important that we all find our sweet spot, because in the midst of life and the chaos, if you can find that sweet spot, I believe you've achieved balance, because it looks different for everyone. And I love your unique approach to makeup and how you use that as a tool to build yourself up and inspire others as you're doing it. Because I was inspired, like, literally from that first video I watched of you. I was telling my daughter, I was like, I gotta get my makeup up. I was like, I gotta invest more in my look and my signature look. Let me say that. and get my makeup up. And she is definitely the person who I want to help me do that. So thank you for sharing. I am just so excited to have you on. Like, y'all don't understand. Okay.
I appreciate that. You know, what I share, I've been very, very intentional about not just talking to people, but as it seems like I'm talking to you, I'm really talking to myself. So like, if you ever
Okay.
want to know what I'm going through or what God spoke to me or the revelation that I got, I'm sharing it. I'm sharing it to you all. I feel like, I'm not so unique where others aren't maybe going through the same things. Someone may be uplifted, but sometimes you have to speak it, right? There's a lot of power in your words. So as I'm speaking out to, whoever's watching, I'm speaking it and hoping it kind of cements in myself. So that was just something that God really breathed into me. And yeah, man, it's definitely took some stress off of my shoulders as a busy mom and a wife. And, at the time I was going through a lot of things and still am, but I'm able to rest in knowing that, okay, not everything is going to be equal at all times. So
Come
yeah.
on. I always say when we keep God at the center and we build everything around that, that is really what balance look like. It's not straight up and down, but it's actually a circle.
Mm.
Seasons and the cycles of life, they require more, they require less, they
Yeah.
require nothing, they
Yeah.
require it all.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just have to find our circle, and as long as God is in the center, everything else, like you said earlier, literally will work itself out.
Yeah.
I believe that at this point because I don't stress enough.
Yeah.
And so you have to get to that place of literally learning how to rest in God with everything. And so, on to our second question. Who inspires you to keep your priorities in order?
Well, I would like to say automatically my husband. I would say that, but it's not usually him. It's actually my son.
Come
Because
on.
yeah, because our son is 2 years old and he's every bit of a toddler boy. He's a lot, but he's so much fun. But the thing
Yeah.
is with them, like my husband, he has the ability to show me grace. Like if my priorities are out of whack, he can carry some of that load. He can do that. He's my partner, right? If I'm not feeling well, he'll allow me to kind of rest while he does the work that I was supposed to do. But my son,
No
doesn't matter
understanding.
doesn't
Right.
matter how little sleep I got or what I would want to do. He's like, hey mommy, I need this, I need
Mm-hmm.
that. And
Yes.
so he kind of helps me to to keep things going, keep things moving. But also most recently he was a big inspiration for me to kind of get back to healthy, living a healthier lifestyle.
I love that.
you know I mean, 2 years, so it's been 2 years postpartum, but it's a tough thing to kind of eat healthy and work out, but not being able to keep up with him, even like playing on the floor with him and trying to get back up, it was painful. So it's
Wow.
like, okay, I want him to have an active mom. I want to be able to, do things with him. He's super active and I want to be out there with him. So I had to make the decision to change my life, to change my eating habits. So he definitely inspires me to be better,
Yes.
um it takes so much of me. I have to make sure that I'm keeping God first, and that I have to ask God for guidance all the time.
All
you
the
know i'm
time.
i'm an old mom, as I say. I only have one, but man, it's just I'm learning as I go. But I do have the ability to connect to God for guidance, and I need that on a on a daily basis. So definitely just being with my son in that dynamic always pushes me in the right direction. It helps things to kind of make sure they're back in the right order.
Yes, yes. I love that because I can attest to that. I have 4 children, and
Incredible.
I'm telling you, motherhood has been the thing that has matured me
Mm,
more than anything in the world, because at the end of the day, our children are our mirror.
yeah.
And so when I look at them, what do I see? Do I see me? Do I see parts of me that I need to improve on? Do I see parts of me that I love? They are our mirrors, and they will definitely keep us accountable. if nobody else will. Okay. And I actually love how you creatively include your son in your content and the things that you put out on social media. When I see him, I'm like, look at him. He's so cute. Like he be photo bombing, video bombing.
It was not by design. That I just had to roll with it because being online, you want to have this perfect image, you want perfect cut, but it's like if I waited for that, I wouldn't be able to put anything out. So I'm like, well, he's gonna climb up on my lap. Well, I'm gonna have to keep rolling because I just gotta I gotta roll with it, and it's real life. I think although you have an idea that you want to be perfect, people also want to see what's real, and that's real for me. My son, I had to lock the door because he would for sure be running in right now. He is my shadow. We've gone through the fire together. I think it's built a very strong bond, even maybe more than like a regular mom and son relationship. And he is my shadow, and I love it. So yeah, he'll jump in a video all the time. I have one that I filmed today. I'm like, he wouldn't let me finish. So I'm like, he's gonna be in it.
I love it. And you said a mouthful. And to the woman and mom who knows that they have something to do, they have a passion, but they're waiting on that perfect time. We are both here to tell you that time will never come. You just have to do it with them and all. Like, let your life organically find its flow. And actually, people appreciate the authenticity of bringing them into your reality, because social media has painted this filtered version of what life looks like. And I don't know about you, Casie, but baby, the struggle is real.
And it's not going anywhere. It's a different struggle, but there will always be some sort of struggle. And
come on,
what you're gonna do?
That's it. But it's all by His grace, and you just make it look so beautiful when you do it. And I'm just so grateful for that as well.
A beautiful chaos, I guess.
Yes, a beautiful chaos, honey. And there's nothing wrong with it because that's your story.
Yeah.
So my last question to you, because I am a bookaholic, I could share books that I've read over the years to help me find balance, strengthen my faith, all of those things concerning personal, professional, spiritual development. And so I love to find out what other people are reading. So what books are you currently reading?
I've lately gotten really into autobiographies, which I normally am a fiction reader because I like to read just to kind of escape and I love stories, but I've really been getting into autobiographies lately. And I read Viola Davis's autobiography, and I mean I was a fan, but now I'm like a stan. Her story, my goodness, like you see why she can act her butt off. The things that she's been through, I feel like she draws on her personal experiences, and I highly recommend that to everyone who's watching who wants to really not just hear a rags to riches story, but I mean a really powerful testimony that she has. And yeah, her story is just incredible. I really enjoyed that, and I highly recommend that one. So yeah.
Yes. And I know what you're saying is true because when her and Oprah did the documentary, when the book was released, it's actually on Netflix. I sat on a Sunday afternoon having some self-care time and I cried.
I didn't watch it, but
listen.
I have to check it out.
Check it out. Create some time for you to chill and Netflix on this weekend. It was so powerful. Oprah knows how to ask all the right questions. I mean, from the scenery that they shot the documentary in to the clothes that they wore, everything just exuded freedom. Like, it was so powerful. So I know the book was just 10 times
Yeah.
even better because it delved a little deeper into her story versus what she only had the time to share on the documentary. But it was so good. I was so proud of Viola being a Black female actress in Hollywood, coming out and just really sharing her childhood and how even in her career she was still struggling and battling, and how the whole pandemic caused her to put a pause and figure out what does she need to do for her.
Mm.
You know, and yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta get the book.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah, I was so inspired by the documentary. I definitely have to get the book. Wow, wow. So we are going to wrap up this conversation. I thank you again for just coming on and looking so amazing and being so authentic and sharing your story. And so, for that woman that's out there that wants that support, needs that guidance on creating that signature look, to just be confident in her daily life, right? Like, even if she's not at the point of being able to show up on camera, but just wanted to really pour back into herself, pamper herself, love on herself again. How can we connect all things Casie?
You defined it so perfectly. So yeah, that it's really what it's about. It's not about being ashamed of what you look like or hiding or covering. It's really about enhancing. Because when you look good, let me tell you, you feel good. Like nobody has stepped out of a salon, hair done, nails done, and not felt like $1,000,000.
Right.
So it's really about that. And to reach me, I am online. You can find me on Instagram. It's at Casie Dion, and that's Casie Casie. The name is right there, and Dion Dionne. And also, I have my blog with tons of content there. I share a lot about my story, makeup tips. I also talk about natural hair, and that is also CasieDion.com. So those are the two ways. But yeah, I mean, feel free to reach out to me. I love connecting. So don't be shy. Send me a DM. We can talk. We can chat. I would love to connect with you.
Yes, and listen, she does respond to her DMs. Okay, I am a product of her responding in DMs. Oh my goodness, this has been amazing. And I pray that each of you who are watching and listening were inspired and just refreshed to really prioritize your self care. And so, if you would like to connect with me, I am on social media, all things Sierra Hilaire. And you can also visit me online at my website, sierrahilaire.com. I'll be sure to post Casie's link, my information in the description. But until next time, thank you for joining us for the balancing act, because we are back.
Thanks for joining us. We hope that you were inspired. Be sure to subscribe and stay connected for our upcoming restoration retreat, Realign, happening on November 12th, 2022.